Hey, what is up guys? It is Silver Sun here and today I'm going to be giving you guys my review on the Dragon Ball Super episode 108. Alright, so this episode starts off right where the last one left off, to where Goku is pretty much fighting Ribrianne, and pretty much he's like firing off all these like love attacks and like hearts and stuff like that at Goku, but it doesn't really seem to be having much of an effect on him. But he's still kind of struggling like hand to hand combat with her and stuff like that, and they're pretty much just going back and forth throughout the arena. And then we even get a glimpse of a few other fighters. Topo and Kabo were kind of squaring it out, but I'm pretty sure we all know who would win that fight because Kabo was kind of getting knocked around and stuff like that. And then we cut on off to Gohan, who's pretty much fighting like this robotic, like this little like robot guy with like stretchy arms and stuff like that. And he was firing off these lasers from his eyes, and pretty much Gohan was firing off a Kamehameha to try and counteract that. And pretty much they're just going back and forth until Gohan actually manages to escape, and pretty much the robot can't find him, so he's basically just like hiding behind this pillar, trying to catch his breath until the Yardrat from earlier episodes, he's pretty much there, and he fires a blast at Gohan, and he pretty much appears before him, wanting to fight. So they have a little bit of a standoff at first, and then they get down to the fighting, in which the Yardrat obviously uses instant transmission, and it's pretty much teleporting all around Gohan, and Gohan can't really keep up with him because he's just too fast for him, and he can't really find a way to counteract his instant transmission. And I don't know, like if you ask me, I wish that Gohan or whoever could have like taught him those attacks and stuff like that, or moves rather, like the instant transmission, because that's a pretty useful move, and it kind of sucks that the only people that could use it is Goku and that Yardrat. He even said, the Yardrat, he pretty much said like if you survive this or whatever, like you have potential and stuff like that. If you survive, then I might consider like teaching you my attacks and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I just think that other warriors, other people should learn how to use that attack because it's a pretty viable attack to have, especially in a tournament like this. But pretty much, he had Gohan on the ropes until Frieza pretty much descended from like the sky and whatnot, and pretty much he just stood in front of Gohan, pretty much saying like, "Oh, you're having some trouble. I'm pretty disappointed in you. You can't defeat this simple warrior with a power level like this," and stuff like that, pretty much mocking him. And then basically, uh, he's pretty much standing in his way, standing in front of the Yardrat, and pretty much he's not really doing anything at that point. He's just kind of standing there, not really attacking or like doing anything to actually help, kind of. And then pretty much on the sidelines, with Beerus and like everyone else involved and whatnot, they're pretty much like talking about Frieza, saying that, oh, he's a pretty uh tricky guy and whatnot. Like he's a villain. Obviously, he's not gonna play by the rules here, and pretty much they're like speculating and thinking that he's using this tournament for some sort of bigger plan, some sort of scheme, in order to probably like resurrect himself or whatever. Because if you win this tournament, then obviously you get the Super Dragon Balls, and with the Super Dragon Balls comes a wish that can grant you like anything you can imagine, basically. So that's pretty much Frieza's main goal here, and basically he's just gonna do whatever he can to stick it out till the end of this tournament, even if it means like going against his teammates or whoever and whatnot. And so pretty much he just stands off to the side at this point. He doesn't really like do much. And so basically Gohan and the Yardrat go back to fighting until Frieza basically intervenes in the fight with Gohan and the Yardrat, and he pretty much saves Gohan for the time being at least. And basically he goes on to pretty much finish the job with the Yardrat, pretty much like beating him down and blasting him. Not in his vital points or anything like that. He didn't kill him or anything like that, because then he'd get disqualified. But he pretty much like beat him really badly and pretty much eliminated him right then and there, until basically after that, Frost emerges, and then pretty much the cat's out of the bag at this point, and basically him and Frost are basically teamed up, or him and Frieza, both of them, they're teamed up basically from the start of the tournament. If y'all remember, they pretty much had that little like deal going on and whatnot, the little conversation there, but nothing really. We never really seen them like together, like kind of working together until now, and pretty much Frost is kind of standing off to the sidelines, basically like kind of threatening Frieza, like, hey, if you're like gonna turn on me, then I'll like shoot you. Well, he doesn't really say that, but like he pretty much like forms a beam in his fingers and whatnot, pretty much just being skeptical about the whole idea. But Frieza pretty much goes on to attack Gohan because now his stamina is kind of depleted after fighting the Yardrat, and so basically Frieza's fighting Gohan, and the Omni King and the Daishinkan don't really care. Like it's like there's not even rules anymore in a way, because like pretty much it's universe, well, not universe versus universe, but like warriors from the same universe fighting each other, and no one's putting a stop to it. No one's getting disqualified or anything like that. So pretty much Frieza's just going in on Gohan, pretty much beating him around a little bit until pretty much Gohan powers up and he starts fighting back a bit. In which I mean not Gohan, Frieza pretty much powers up as well into Golden Frieza, and here they actually used they reused a bit of animation I noticed here for the transformation, but it was good animation nonetheless, as well as this whole episode was pretty well animated and whatnot. Probably not as good as the last episode, but it's really close. Like it's not bad or anything like that. It's pretty consistent with this episode, but pretty much he turns into Golden Frieza, and at that point him and Gohan start duking it out even more, and Frieza actually manages to get the upper hand on him, pretty much knocking him down into the ground, and basically he's just laying there. I don't think he's unconscious, but he's just like, he's down for the count at that point, and pretty much he turns to Frost, and he's pretty much showing him like, he's pretty much telling him like, oh, you could get this powerful too with training and whatnot, and then pretty much he kind of regresses a little bit in forms and whatnot, and then pretty much he powers up into like 100%, like his 100% form and whatnot, and basically Frost transforms into that too. Surprisingly, I didn't really think he had that kind of power. I mean, like it's not like crazy power or anything like that, but I just never knew he had that kind of form, you could say. Well, I don't think it's really a form. It's just him like powering up to 100%. But basically, he's just telling him like, oh, there's a few things you should know. To go all out at the beginning and whatnot. This form drains a lot of stamina as well and stuff like that. And then pretty much he tells him one more thing, and that's not to trust anybody. And that's when he pretty much blasts him right off of the arena, off of the stage, and basically effectively eliminating him at that point. And pretty much he's talking to Gohan, who pretty much gets up and stuff, and basically it was all a ploy. Like at the beginning, it was all a plot at the beginning. Basically, pretty much Frieza double crossed Frost, and pretty much Gohan, like he wasn't in on it, but like pretty much when Frieza turned, quote unquote, on Gohan and they started fighting each other, and that first punch that Frieza landed on Gohan, he could tell that he wasn't fighting seriously. So from that he could kind of tell like, hey, he's not fighting seriously, so maybe he's not seriously gonna like hurt me or anything like that. And that's pretty much when he just kind of decided to play along with whatever was going on there at that point in time. So pretty much it was all just a trick basically, and pretty much Frost is like ticked off at Frieza for like double crossing him and cheating and stuff like that, and pretty much he calls Frost an amateur, and pretty much he gets like really pissed off, and basically he's about to blast Frieza, but before he can, pretty much Zeno erases him like right then and there, and pretty much he's saying like no outside attacks or he'll erase the universe and stuff like that. And then pretty much Champa apologized and whatnot. And I thought it was kind of funny too. Like Champa was like cheering for Frieza, this like second half of the episode, pretty much. Like I thought it was kind of funny, when it seemed like Frost turned on his own universe, but it was all a trick. But who knows? Maybe he might actually be serious next time around. Who knows if he actually can be trusted? Because who's to say that this same thing won't happen again, and he'll actually turn on someone, maybe Goku or whoever, later down the line. But this was a pretty good episode in my opinion. A few fights here and there, some pretty good. Well, I wouldn't say like character development, but like like it was some pretty cool character interactions. Finally getting to see Frieza and Frost join up like they said they would at the beginning of this tournament, seeing how that played out, and it played out uh, in a way that I kind of saw coming. Like I felt like Frieza wasn't gonna trust Frost the whole time. I felt well, not it didn't play out like exactly how I thought it would, but I just knew for a fact that Frieza and Frost weren't gonna last with that whole team up. I felt like not Frost, Frieza could definitely like just turn on Frost in an instant, and Frost couldn't really do much about it because I mean he had the golden form and whatnot. If Frost like did anything or thought something else or whatever, he could have just been like whatever and just got him out of the arena just like he did here. I That's just what I felt like. I felt like Frieza was gonna eliminate him either way or like just turn on him or whatever. But this episode was pretty good. I liked how they showed like Gohan more and stuff like that. And showed a little bit of Goku fighting Ribrianne, and that's kind of where the episode ended with Goku fighting Ribrianne and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, this episode was pretty good. Animation and art pretty good. A few faces were a little wonky, and mostly it was like Beerus's face. Like in some shots, I don't know, like he just looked kind of weird. But other than that, I thought this episode was pretty well animated and uh, pretty well drawn and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode. But tell me what you guys thought of this episode. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys think that there could have been anything improved on this episode or anything else that could have been added or taken away? Just let me know in the comments below. And until the next one, guys, Silver Sun is out.